Hello, it looks like we are here live.
That's
Welcome,
right.
everybody. Welcome
How
to
you?
Beauty Stars Talk. And
Hello, everyone.
yeah, it's like we're going to introduce you. I just want to share a few things with anybody that's on. Hopefully, we are live everywhere. Yes, it looks like it. Okay. So, welcome, Facebook. Welcome, Facebook group. And welcome, YouTube. So several years ago, it's like I saw an episode of America's Next Top Model, and there was a young lady, a contestant on there, who shared with Tyra and some of the other people that she was planning to turn the whole world of fashion upside down. And so
Right.
Tyra was like, well, tell me about, like Yves Saint Laurent, Givenchy, and Oscar de la Renta, some of the top, fashion icons. And she was like, well, like, I don't know any of those people. I'm like, and so Tyra was like, basically, have a seat, so you can learn something before you start to turn the world upside down. So, so I realized, like, in the beauty industry, there's really nowhere to go if you are looking for information, like who came before us. For some of us, it feels like, the beauty industry just opened up this beautiful, wonderful world, and it's like we're living in it, having a good time. But who was it that came before us? So,
Yeah.
so basically, I want to share, who am I and why I'm so excited to be here and celebrate Black excellence in our artistry in the beauty industry. My name is Miki Wright, and I've spent my whole career in the industry as a hairstylist, as an educator, and helping other stylists and salons to excel. My mom's in the business, my sister's in the business. I'm second generation, and I was also one of the first African American owners of a full service salon and day spa in the country. And you could say that I love the beauty industry. And so Beauty Superstars Talk was born basically out of the murder of George Floyd and the racial tensions that erupted after that. And so it quickly, the tensions spilled into the beauty industry, which is still, next to church, one of the most segregated industries in the country. And
Right.
so during that time, I actually had the honor to attend a couple of calls or Zooms, I guess you could say. And Black artists were there from all different fields, and it was kind of meeting each other. Some people I knew, some people I didn't, of course, but and everybody was sharing their stories. And for many of them, there was like a lot of pain with subtle and not so subtle racism in the industry. But they didn't let it stop them because their stories are so powerful. And I left feeling super inspired, and like, these stories have to be shared. And so that's what I've extended my platform to, is sharing the stories of Black artists in the beauty industry who are excelling. And I want to take some time to honor the people who have come before us, such as my friend here, Barry Fletcher. He's the first of our Legend series. But we're here, to inspire, to educate, to heal. This is a safe place for people to share their own stories. It's like, I think a lot of times we get, narrated, and people tell you what they want you to hear. So we're your story.
It's a great platform, Mickey. Thank you. That's a good thing. I
Well,
didn't
thank
know
you.
it. Yeah, that's a smart idea on your part. Yeah.
Yeah, I love hearing everybody's stories. It inspires me as far as, motivation for success. And also, I think we need the history. We need some archives of what has come before us. So I am very honored that you are here tonight, Mr. Barry Fletcher. I feel like this gentleman here doesn't need an introduction, but I will share a few things. But it's like, let's see why they may call him the GOAT, the GOAT, the greatest of all times. Because basically, what other hairstylist can you say who's won the a Rolls Royce for styling hair? There's a few of them. Built a celebrity clientele, became an author, and gave us Why Are Black Women Losing Their Hair way before it was trendy or an
Yeah.
epidemic,
Right.
and started an all-male styling team
Right.
with the Hair Gangsters.
Yeah.
Has his own line of products that are currently in Walmart. and was the first African American to win a place on the U.S. Olympic team, the hair Olympic team, with a Black model.
That's
So,
right.
yeah, so I think that laundry list kind of qualifies you. So.
Yeah, I've been busy. I didn't sit down much during my
Right.
tenure.
Yeah. So people are saying
Yeah.
hello. Got someone from Nova Scotia. And if you're on Facebook, there's a little link on the StreamYard area where you can put in your name, so I can actually see your name. We'll try to put up some comments and actually questions. If you have any questions, to go ahead and shoot them out there as well. But otherwise, we're just going to kind of sit back and relax and hear some of the things that have gone on in this man's mind and behind the scenes of some of the things that he's been so famous for. So, yeah, I'd like to just share, like my meeting of you, which was quite a few years ago now. What'd you say?
Yeah, it's been a minute, all right.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was actually in beauty school in, she says Nova Scotia loves Barry Fletcher's products. So
Yeah.
I can stick that up there. Beauty culture of Nova Scotia.
They started a brand new school there in Nova Scotia, a Black Beauty Academy. Wow. Yeah. It was really, really, really moving. And I like to thank them for their support there with Barry Fletcher products. Of course, Samantha Dixon out there in Nova Scotia. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you're here, Samantha, and everyone else. So, when I was in beauty school, which was in Houston, Texas, and I had lived briefly in the DC area, but everything I was seeing in the magazines, they were, kind of just starting to be Black magazines, where you had and stuff, Black Passion and all of that. And so, yep, I think that was out already. And I was just seeing, Barry Fletcher among some others. And I was just like, that's where I want to start my career. And so I moved the next day after I took my state board in Texas. I moved to DC.
I didn't know that story.
Yeah. It was kind of crazy, but I was very highly motivated. And I think you did a class not long after I got there. So, of course, I was like front and center. It's like, okay, I'm going to see this man in person. And
well, you took the beauty industry by storm, I might add. You went right on from school to being a great stylist known all over the metropolitan area, and then opened the first spa. I was like, wow. And you still kept your gentleness. You've always been such a queen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You and your mom. Y'all just, have done a lot for the beauty industry in general.
Yeah. It's like, well, we appreciate you. We both love you. So, yeah, but you're definitely a major inspiration for me. And tell us like a little bit about like getting started. And I definitely want to hear more about the Rolls Royce part.
Yeah, getting started was, that's always a challenge because let's go back. So when I came out of high school, so firstly, I should say I'm from a family of 10. So it was no way my mother was going to send me to college or anything. Forget about it. Matter of fact, it took me 13 years to get out of high school. So I was like, let me get me a trade or something,
Okay.
I went to barbering school, Armstrong Adult Training Center in First and Peachtree, Northwest DC, and so I did that part time while I was, working. I think I was delivering paint, and then I took classes, learning how to assemble computers for a bank, and. So I did computer entry system manufacturing for a while, and it's so boring. I just didn't like the science of it, and the tech. It's just too boring for me. I'm an artist, so I never really got into the science that much. So my whole life has been around art, and so I actually knew it was time when they wanted to make me supervisor. I knew it was time to leave. So. I said, I had gotten my barber's license first, and then I went on to get my master's barber's license. And in Maryland, they cut your time in half if you go cosmetology with a master's barber's license. So it was a commodity for me to roll over into cosmetology because I didn't want to go the computer route, so I applied for a grant, and I got that and got in, right before Reagan got in office and cut that program out.
Oh, wow.
But, and I want to, right while I'm at this point talking about this, I'd like to say, career centers like Armstrong that I went to, I could go for free just with using a DC address. We need more of those in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. We need more career centers. So, after all, it is our Black kids, especially the young men that are dropping out of school in an alarming fashion, and they seem not to have nothing on their mind in terms of what they will do after that. So my nephew, I was trying to get him to get serious about something. All his friends wanted to be rappers. So, he never really got out of his little street authority there, So he want to sell drugs, and I'm like, so soon we'll be able to buy weed, over the counter. So what you gonna do then? So the young guys just don't have anything to shoot for. So the beauty industry has always been one of those things. Not only one of the industries that you could get into and thrive, barbering and cosmetology, but it's also the only one we have a monopoly on, in terms of. We got Black schools, Black distribution, Black salons, Black barbershops, Black manufacturing, which helps to send Black kids to school. So we have that a monopoly on that on this industry, the Black beauty industry, and maybe the funeral homes. So it's important that we know that this is an industry we're fighting for. So anyway, I started out. As a stylist there, and it only took me 4.5 months to go through cosmetology school. I was trying to think of the name of the school, Hair Concepts up in Silver Springs, right? So it was a mostly white school, and so I didn't know anything. I was just a barber. I hadn't done any hair, so it was a few people in there were willing to help me. A guy that worked for one of the famous hairstylists, Robin Ware, who did, is it Nancy Reagan? No.
I think so.
Reagan? Yeah, right. Nancy Reagan's bouffant. He did that, Robin Ware. So guy, I had to sit beside there, I say it that way because I was a little nervous back there in '81. You go in the beauty school, they thought all men had to be gay to go with the beauty. So it almost kept me out of it, But then I had just got off of my boxing career. I had just went to the finals in the Golden Glove. And I was leaving that to go to cosmetology. So I said, well, yeah, okay. Let them try me. I was a little scared, but let them try me. But now, I'm way over that. It's no homophobia, anything. It's like a great industry. And I learned a lot from everybody, white and Black students, alike, to help me. So I learned both textures, which I think is the key to survival these days. Because if you can't make it in the Black salons, you might be able to go to the white salons and do some round brushing and cutting. So you need all skills. So anyway, I got my I went to cosmetology for 4.5 years, and I passed the test. So now I got both barbers. The master barbers and the cubs. So I went to Floyd Kenyatta at Fingertips up in Silver Springs. And I really liked this guy. I was, he was the man at the time. In '81, he had a house in Silver Springs, and it was a gated house, and he had a Rolls Royce, and he was sitting beside it. I said, wow, this is where I want to go. And he was like, in essence and everything, Floyd was doing everything. So Floyd, I give him a lot of credit for my career, just my thinking, a mental thing of keep moving and what's next, a new project. I'm like, the whole time I finish one project, I'm on another, so I don't sit around and idle. So by '82, that was my 2 years, it was '83. I went 81 to 83. That was the 2 years I needed to get my manager's license. So as soon as I was able to take my manager's exam, I left Floyd, bought a house, put the salon in it, and started my own career. So, I didn't waste any time. As soon as I was able, I did it. And then I wanted to continue to compete, because as a student, I won some competitions in DC, and I competed against my dear friend, the late Tim Gray, who was a bad dude. I mean, that guy is a nice guy, man. He could really do some hair too. I mean, like, I learned a lot from him, and so. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. But I was one of those guys when I was coming up my first year. I went to everybody's salon, around my neighborhood. I would go in there and start asking them questions, hanging around. Some people would, shun me off, get out of here. When I went up Georgia Avenue in DC, all the salons, man, you name it, man. And not only Tim Gray's salon, but Jack Kay and Solly's and it was a bunch of them, like Vincent and Vincent Cook and a whole bunch of salons in DC. I used to just go and hang out because they were all veterans. I was new. And so I'm asking 100,000 questions, and that's how, and I start writing down notes, and that's how I start writing, making articles. And so they had a magazine called The Body Garage, Bill Green, HUR, and I started writing for his magazine every week. And so I give him the articles, and he give me a free ad. And that's how I built my clientele with the fingertips. So I'm helping Floyd, to make his first $1,000 a day. And then he retired, and I took over his clientele because I was his assistant for about close to 6 months. And man, by the time I came from under him, I knew exactly what to do. I was pretty polished, And so that's why I went on to open my own salon. And I learned a lot of stuff from, all the stylists out there, Oliver Benson and Thomas Hayden, John Atchison, it was Jim Williams, James Harris, a lot of these guys really, really good, and it was a lot of good artists back then. And then I trained a lot under Ann and Gary Bray. But Ann Bray is probably the most brilliant stylist I've ever seen in my life. Man, that lady could do some hair. And she's a white lady, has a salon in Huntsville, Alabama. It used to be called Masters. I never seen nobody in my life put together hairstyles like Ann Bray. And Gary could teach like nobody else. So that really propelled me. That helped me win the Rolls Royce and helped me make the Olympic team. Ann and Gary Bray, I really owe them a lot, and the late Gary Bray, I should say. And she's still rolling. Sweet as you want me. Any of you all, if you can get a chance, I don't know if she's still training, but if you can get a chance, you need to go see her. But anyway, where am I? I said, then after I opened the salon there in 83, 84, then I competed for the Rolls Royce in 84. I came in fourth place. So came back in 85 and I won the thing and drove it home. And then my whole career started. It just propelled itself. And people just calling me, celebrities coming to us. It was just a mess, man. It was just hard for me. I mean, that's why I got an injury now. Can you see this cast on my hand?
Oh, wow.
I used to do about 20 people a day back in the 80s, So you hairdressers have no idea. I was doing about, I averaged about 3,500 a week, and that was, with two assistants, but that's about average, But back then, I'm talking 80s, 90s. So, we were rolling and and here's the thing, the kicker, it was sort of a new thing. Getting your hair done in a salon and cut and relax and curl and color and black women were just going crazy. And as a result, they were patient. We had clients waiting in the salon for like 2 hours, 3 hours. What? They didn't even complain. It was after I won the Rose, I made the Olympic team. Where all these white clients that came, they started complaining. They weren't playing. They didn't want to wait. So I nicely got rid of all of them. I said, I'm in the black community, I'm really catering to the black. I can do all kinds of hair, but if you're gonna have a problem, then the black women don't have a problem with it. And so, nowadays, we wouldn't dare keep anybody waiting. I have a salon here in Mitchellville, and I of course retired, but my manager Joe is an extremely talented and gifted stylist that I started from the beginning, 25, 28 years ago. So when you start him out from school, and this guy, he's brilliant. So I could easily retire with him. But so if you need a really good cut and style, Joe Chizzy he still carries that Barry Fletcher flair, if you will, and so let's see. I got it to. I'm at Avant-Garde. Then I retired after I wrote the book Why Are Black Women Losing Their Hair. I retired in 2000 for like 4 years. Came back in 2004 after I made a killer with this book. I mean, I was selling $50 a pop back then, and they were lined up waiting for it.
Wow.
So, not to, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but it's just true. That's what happened. It was the first book that was a guide that helped people learn to establish a relationship with their hair. And I will tell you, all you young students that are in school or coming out or your first year in, second, and even some of your veterans, if you haven't read this book, you might want to go to barryfletcher.com and order your book and get on top of it and get in front of the industry instead of being behind and trying to figure out what the heck is going on, especially as you call it, a hair loss pandemic crisis that we're going through right now. So that book, it should be in every salon or at least in every hairdresser's home coffee table at home. Because if you're serious about hair, you really got to know about it. See, the stylists today, they haven't been primed and groomed to learn how to grow hair, to treat hair, to keep it healthy and moist, and strong. They don't get that. We had to go to classes before we got products. Back in the day, I had to go and qualify, certify to get any products. But now, they can get anything they want, and it's delivered to them. You still have your book.
Yeah, that's Tanya.
Yeah, it's my girl. Angela.
A lot of folks on here with the book.
Not Tammy. Yeah, but your book is like the Bible of the beauty industry. And I had fun writing it. And the reason why nobody else has written another one, and it's still like the #1 seller in terms of hair care, black hair care, is because I commissioned 10 different doctors, dermatologists, trichologists, naturopathic doctors, nutritionists, and so forth to write chapters. So, I had to pay everybody to write chapters to make sure that I got different perspectives. And so when the sister went in to read, and she had a particular problem, when she read the book, she can get in where she fit in, because there's so many different perspectives to tell you why you're having issues. And too many different doctors telling you different things in different ways, that you could lose hair and ways to avoid that and remedy the problem. That it's just, something that you refer to all the time. So I definitely suggest the book. Then after that book, I came back and started doing hair. And of course, I opened up the Hair Palace where I am now in Mitchellville, Maryland. And so we've been here, and that's been a good run. And so I started following President Obama in 2007 when he was running for office. And I decided when he got into office that I would follow him throughout with this chronicle. So every month he was in office, I wrote about what was going on. And I put a picture. So it's sort of a poetic rendition to try to get more black families into politics. So here, for an example, every month you see it's a let me get to it. Oh, this is the old one. No wonder. I had to print it. I printed it again. The book sold pretty good. This is a newer copy right here. So anyway, for each month that you're in there, that I wrote a poem. And I talked about what was actually happening that month, sort of a scenario of that month, and then a poem and a picture for each month. So I send it to the president, and he sent back a thank you note, and I put that in the next print, when I printed. So so people will get that as well in the book. And Biden, he sent me a thank you note. Matter of fact, I just found it today, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna put this up since he's running now. He was vice president in 2013. I was like, oh, I got a letter from Biden. Let me put that up. But anyway, back to hair. My whole story. After I made the Olympic team, and then in '96 I also went open to compete here in Washington. I think it was the '96 Olympic here. But then we competed in a salon competition, won 10 grand down in Baltimore. It was really fun. The video, I had to send that to you. Yeah. But and then so now I had a really good clientele here at the salon. We did really well. I did well. And then in September, I was coming from New York for the Circle of Sisters show. And it's on a Saturday, and it was like a really good show for me. I sold a ton of product. People just stand in line we almost sold out everything, right? So the next day I had like a headache, and it was really bothering me. And so I'm coming on the way home, and so we stopped to get gas, and I was going to take over and drive, but my headache was too excruciating. And so we started looking for a hospital because I knew this wasn't good. And so since we were coming home, we decided to go on to Johns Hopkins. And so I went to Johns Hopkins. I got in a wheelchair to get in, and I was told to tell them I had chest pain so I could get in front of people because I knew I had a serious problem. And they took me in and they examined me. And then I said, I really got a headache, but I know y'all wouldn't have taken me if I just said I got a headache. So anyway, they took me in and they examined my, they gave me an MRI or a scan or something. And wow, they saw that I had blood was pushing my brain to one side, so my brain was asymmetric, and so they cut me open. I don't know if you can see, I had a nice little C shape, and drained the blood out and had me on some medication for a little while. And in probably about 6 months, I was feeling great, and so now I'm back to reading music, singing, and getting ready for my next career, which is going to be a one-man show on the piano. I'm going to be a piano singer. You'll see me in some little lounge or a little whatever they call it, a little restaurant, just for fun, because I just like doing it, and it keeps me keeps my cognizant skills there, and motor skills. As you get older, some people like to do crossword puzzles and stuff, but reading music for me does it, and it keeps me sharp. And I'm really happy, even though I'm in in this pandemic, and I'm sort of quarantined in the house. I'm trapped in here, but I'm happy. It's like I got everything I wanted here. I got the movie theater. But as for hair, so I gave it all I have, and I got injuries to prove it. And so I don't mind consulting, but and I'll be around to speak at certain engagements and stuff. Only when things clear up, because of course Dominique tried to get me down his thing in Virginia Beach. I think it's coming this month. In a week or two. But and I was like, nah, I'm not making any appearances now. It's like I gotta wait for this thing to clear up. We got a crazy president, man. I don't know what's going on. So I'm not gonna try anything until after we get things cleared up. And you guys, I know y'all are voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, so we can get this country back on the right footing, so that we all can start making money again, especially the small businesses that are really affected by, this pandemic that we're living through currently. And but things are going well. The beauty industry has always been a great industry. It's been good to me, and people will support you. I find about being a hairstylist, if you take care of them, they'll take care of you. And they don't even care. They don't care how much you know, as long as they know you care. You know,
Right.
so you always got to show love to your clients, and you know, and
Please
yeah,
say
yeah,
that again, Barry. I think somebody needs to hear it again.
yeah. Well, yeah, you gotta always show your clients the love, you know, because they don't care how much you know, as long as they know you care. You know,
Right.
so if you care about them, and they'll trust you, you know, that and they'll continue. They like the experience with you, but they'll trust you. You know, I just think that, you know, we're getting ready to come around to, what's that, Black Friday, or Small Business Friday.
Okay.
Thursday is a Friday, yeah. And you know, and I think that's another thing we have to do. We got to start supporting, you know, our small local businesses a little more. And I think the industry, it's time for us to get a strong association. Right now, we have the National Beauty Culturist League. Unless we can, you know, get with them and build that up, or we're gonna have to start something and get maybe a younger foundation. And no disrespect to them, I think that that's the best thing we have, and they've been doing a great job. And I'm a proud member of the National Beauty Culturist League, because I think that we need that kind of support in the Black beauty industry, and they've been there for us over the years. You know, so those of you that aren't familiar, just look it up, National Beauty Culturist League there in Washington, D.C., and sign up and be a member. And we need to do that in great numbers so that we can get that industry, association or the league, you know, really growing and thriving again, because it really helped me out a lot when I was coming along. I mean, I got my doctoral degree through them, because I taught for 8 years, you know, teaching folks there. And I just like the whole concept of it, that, you know, we can come together and have a voice, you know, with one another, so we can plan for the future, continue to grow, because beauty industry is starting to slip away a little bit from us. We're losing control and integrity. You know, when you have a lot of booth renters out there that are semi-professionals, you know, it really tears down the image, the professional discourse of the services, you know. And see, when one hairdresser does crazy and bad things, all of us look bad, you know.
Right.
You know, and I'm the one kind of guy that will fight for a hairdresser. You know, I'm like, I believe in us. I think we're the hardest working sector in the workplace. I mean, you know, I see Black women, and they come, you know, they go to work and they don't even stop for a lunch break. And they work all the way through the day, 13, 14, 15 hours a day, and don't complain. You know, strong. I never seen a weak hairdresser that was a successful hairdresser that was weak. Never. You know, so we have a strong industry, and we need to fortify it a little bit, you know, and we need to, you know, perfect maybe the online training now, you know, get that down. I see Ms. Arnold. I said online training. I was thinking about you, Miss Arnold, when I said that. You know, because she was a teacher at Bennett Beauty.
Awesome.
I'm probably saying yeah, that's yeah, and at Bennett, you know, they're doing a great job too. I have to say,
Yeah.
For barbers and cosmetologists, you know, Mr. Bennett, man, Chad, he really cares about his students. It's really it shows. You know, if you go up there, you'll see, and the students really love it, and they're doing a great job. You know, and I suggest to all the veteran hairstylists that you should go and speak to the students. If you only do it once a year, just go stop by, say hello, give them a little motivational speech, and tell them what's going on, what's happening, and what they should expect. You know, once they, you know, they get their license and really embark upon a career of cosmetology. You know, it's not nothing that you take for granted. I think the biggest problem a lot of times with the new and the young stylists is that they don't study enough. Go ahead. See, let me explain this real quick. The kind of money I was just telling you how back in the day I was doing 35 a week without even blinking. So, that's sort of like a doctor's pay in a sense. But here's the thing. You go to school for cosmetology, if you go full time, it's only 1 year, right? A doctor might go 8 years, right? So you could turn around and make the kind of money the doctor is doing, but that other 7 years you got to put in on your own.
Right.
See, that's what we fail. We do what the teacher and we feel like, oh, that's it. Now I'll just do a good weave and I'm a great hairstylist now. Or I did a celebrity client, now I'm a celebrity. So it's a lot to learn about this industry if you want to keep the hair on your client's head for the rest of their lives. And to me, that should be the strategy of the whole thing, is to keep the hair on their head for the rest of their life, and and I think the government have to help the Black salon industry out a little bit. Well, let me just change that a little bit. Not so much the Black thing, it's just, it should be a community thing where we start opening up more career centers so people can have choices of where to go and what to do. We can afford it, and you just got a bunch of schools that we've already shut down, ain't doing nothing. Why don't we continue the education and give these kids who don't have the wherewithal an opportunity to choose a path in life. I love to see that. I will fight for it. But right now, I'm sort of like, what I'm doing is writing songs. I have a new climate change song I've written. Some of you may have seen it. If not, you can go to my Facebook page, Barry Fletcher, and I have it on there. And so I'm in this songwriting contest, so next month I'll know. It's like American Songwriters, Craft and Music magazine, website, podcast, so that the American music, I put my song in, and so I think the lyrics are good, and I sent the video along with it. So I'm kind of anxious. I hope I can place, because that's what I'm doing now. It's still art, but I'm playing the piano and I'm writing songs and I'm having a ball.
What'd you say?
I thank you for even thinking about me, because once you retire, you get out of the line like nobody even, you just fade out. Great. God. So I'm gonna kind of hang in there for a little while. Even though I don't know.
A gold mine of wealth to share.
Yeah, I want to do that. I definitely want to see the industry continue to thrive. I'd like to see us turn it around and go back to the glory days of the 80s and 90s in the Black beauty industry in particular. There was a lot going on there where these kids wouldn't have a clue of the opportunities we had back then. For example, I won a Rolls Royce in '85. That tell you right there. I mean, it's not so much whether I was good enough to win the Rolls Royce. It was like, it was companies giving it away. If you could comb some hair in 7 minutes, and then 15 minutes. So that's 7 minutes for day. You take the rollers out, 7 minutes, boom, and then 15 for evening, adding hair. But so that was fun. So. Right. And it was sort of like that with the Olympics too, except you had 3 competitions, and so I like to see Black stylists that get more international, study and train under white hairdressers, the white artists, go to Europe, go to Ambre, I went over to Vidal Sassoon for a week, Paul Mitchell. I studied several weekends down in Huntsville, Alabama with Ann and Gary Bray, and it wasn't cheap, but I remember going to the Rolls Royce competition. I was broke, had to just open this line. I had no money. I only had one-way tickets to New York. I told my mom, if you don't win, you get home. If we don't win, you get home the best that you can. We got a one-way ticket. So it's been a fun industry, I must say, Miki. I love the hairdressers. I love the artistry and the way they carry themselves and they talk and the way they dress and the way they do hair. Everybody have their own style, men and women alike. It's a great industry. It's the only industry I know still where your attitude will determine your altitude. You can go as far as you want. You don't have to worry about racism or it's so of course, or, you know, the white man holding you back, or computers taking your job. Nah, it's on you, you know. So don't blame nobody but yourself, you know. So I'm just saying, it's an industry that allow you to go from making $200 a week your first month or two in the industry to make it $2,000 a week, you know, in just a matter of a month. So if you just plan your strategy right and market yourself properly and do your homework. Stop, you know, leaving. If you're in school, don't leave your books, you know, and go home and forget about everything. You take that with you and you do your homework and you go ahead of your teacher. The teacher shouldn't have to push you to do your work. That's when you know you're not going to make a lot out of what you're doing. So I walk in a school and talk to the students. I realize, and maybe it's only about 5% of them going to make it. You know, maybe 10, 15%, depending on how good the school is. And so you have to like instill in their mind to take it personally and be the boss, because you're going to have to make up for the education that you didn't get in school to make it to that successful rate where you were, to be a full service salon. That took a lot of work and planning and knowledge, you know, to do that kind of thing. It's, you know, because full service salon was kind of tough back then, it still is today. You know, that was a rough feat there, and so, you know, like I said, you know, you young students, your attitude, you really, you know, you gotta think ahead and really want to learn more than what you know, because you're really not as good as you think you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, it will show over time. It's like you feel like you're on top of the world and getting something done now, but it's like it will start to show. But back us up just a little bit. It's like, tell us, first of all, like, what is Hair World? Because I think we should have more people that are involved, more people of color. So what is it, first off?
Well, yeah, what is it? That's a good question. Well, I don't know what it has evolved to be at this point, because after the Olympics in '94, and I felt like would end up when NCA discriminated against me, wouldn't let me use the black model in the Olympics, you know, in London. I canceled my subscription and I was done with it, you know. So I haven't done much other than as a spectator, you know. Went to Milan for the Olympics after that, and you know, but it's a big show, international show that allow you to you know, compete. You can go take classes. It's like a big, like it is. It's a world trade show. I'm not sure exactly if it's still moving it from country to country. But you can go on and just look it up online and it'll give you everything on it, you know. But I think that before you start thinking about these worldly shows, that you really need to tie up tie up the loose ends with the work you're doing in your shop right now, you know, and in your community in this country, you know, because a lot more is needed for Black women. I think Black women deserve a lot more in terms of answering the questions about the different problems they have about their hair, because they're coming here. You know, a lot of times, you know, when you write a book, Why Black Women Lose Hair, you get all the hair problems. So I hear what people are saying, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, if, you really got to be true to what you do, you know, just like any other profession, like a chef. They will learn about ingredients. They will study it, you know, and, you know, which ones are the best, and, you know, what ingredients, you know, would give you the best taste, and, you know, and what you can use for preservative other than chemicals and things like, you know, you learn and study, you know, eating, you know, just like you would anything else, you know. Doing hair is even more perplexed because all hair textures are different. For example, if you had a twin sister, the hair texture still would not be the same. It's just like a fingerprint. It's always different. Every hair texture is different. So used to teach my students that learn hair textures and learn the different feels, so you'll know which products and how long to use it on their hair or leave it on their hair. You know, it's just important to know the theory and the sanitation and their sterilization. It's just important to know this kind of stuff in a consultation than it is knowing about what relaxer to use and what color and what strength and how long. You know, it's a lot to learn, and I think that we got to go back to the drawing board and start getting more serious about it so we can take more control of it. Because a lot of Black women are going natural as a result because they try so many other things and it failed, even with the help, the assistance of hairstylists. And so now they're going back to where they have it safely and naturally, And I like that idea too. But, even natural hair can be altered a little bit. I do a thing I used to where we call softening in the hair, where you still want it naturally curly, right? Natural, but it's frizzy sometimes. You get frizzy at the end of the day. So I would scrunch it, like soften the hair, take my relaxer, my mild, sensitive, delicate relaxer, and I wouldn't even comb it. I just put it in with my hand and then scrunch it and rinse it out, and that knocked off the frizz, and the hair curled more readily on its own. So it's different things you can learn when you study hair textures and chemicals and the chemistry of it, And so I'm going to tell you guys, like Barbara Edmonds told me when I was a young pup, you need to get a checkup from the neck up. Stop your stinking thinking. That's my girl. She's out in California. Was it Long Beach? She out there. But anyway, we you can't
have her too.
Huh?
I'm planning to have her on too.
Yeah, you just can't just wander through this industry. It's too much important because there's so many things you can do, as an artist. You can start your own line. You can work for a company, do platform work. You can open your own salon. So many things. There are options there, and don't forget the seniors. You can also go to the senior citizen home, make sure they're taken care of. Or work out something in your neighborhood where you can get a bus to come to your salon on Tuesday or Wednesday. They bring the seniors to you, take care of them, and they take them back, so you can fill your slow days, And here's some other tips, for building a clientele, if I can give them some tips. Yeah, because my thing is, when I was starting out, I feel like a stylist should be able to go anywhere in the world and establish a large and faithful clientele in no more than 3 months. I don't care where you came from, where you go. You can move. If you move to Maryland from Philadelphia, for an example, in 3 months, you should have at least, 7, 8 clients a day. That's the full, schedule for it. And here's how I suggest doing. A lot of times I'm looking for my marketing thing. I call it more money marketing, where I think about where my clients are and where they're going to come and where can I get them in a cluster? Where are there going to be a lot of them? So I used to go down to Constitution Hall, right? When Frankie Beverly and Patty Bell was there. And what I would do, here's the plan. I would take a postcard like this, right? And this is my stylist on there. And I'd get 5,000 of these. It cost me about $189. Might be between there and $250. Okay. All right. So I got 5,000 of these. The concert is about at least 20,000 people in there at one time. So I get me, if it's 4 doors, I get me 2 people. I drive. I get a crew, my staff and their kids or whatever. Grown kids. I don't know, no babies. And we would pass these out when they're going in, and then we catch the rest that we missed coming out. And we almost get rid of 5,000 in one night. Or we do 2 shows that weekend, and we get rid of them. Based on a 5% a gain, 5%. So if I gave out 5,000 of this and I got a 5% return, y'all know how many clients that is? That's 250 new clients. And you could do that over the weekend. You know, but here's the key. Proof your flyers. I get so sick of seeing folks with no zip code on their flyer, the street spelt wrong. You know, they don't say what they specialize in. You know, you gotta like put it together where and let somebody else look at it, proof it, and use both sides. And if you guys do it as a group, then you all chip in. Ain't gonna cost you that much, $50 a piece for 5 of y'all. And you put it together, you might have to pay a little something for the graphic layout, or you do it yourself. And you got it. So the strategy is know where your market is. So one time I went to the convention center because TD Jakes was coming out. I pulled my car right up in front of the door and stood there. They were just, I couldn't get them way fast enough. I was just, I couldn't get them way fast, seriously. And they thought it was something the bishop was giving out, so they waited in line to get it. and so, you know, I could build me a clientele overnight. I'm not going to play with you. I'm telling you. And that's what people need. They need to know how to go out and market themselves professionally and act professionally and treat the your clients right. Do not cheat them. Do not leave them under the dryer too long because you're not ready for them. Don't let burn their scalp up, leaving them under. You know, treat the ladies, you know, nice. Give them a discount sometimes. You know, serve some drinks and some snacks. You know, and every now and then maybe get some fruit, some grapes. And so, I don't know. We used to have grapes all the time, but you know, but now we just do snacks and water and juice and wine, you know, whatever they want, you know, and candy, especially chocolate candy now. Can't miss. But, you know, so, you know, it's been there's just so much stuff to cover, you know, as a hairstylist that's put in 40 years. I could tell you, I could talk you to death, but, you know, I'm just trying to think about things that are important for today. You know, now we're working doing hair under the pandemic. And the one, you know, I thought to myself just the other day, the one good thing I did, and maybe you all might think about when you're building your own salon out, you know, is to put your ceiling fan and your suction fans to suck the air out of the room. I put one over every station in my salon. Then I also put a ceiling fan that keeps the air moving. So little did I know that really pans out for this pandemic right now. It really works out. And also the platform. I have a little platform that's about 6 inches. That's wood on, you know, that when you stand up on your station, you're on a platform. So you get give, you know, in your legs. So you don't beat your legs up. You get the air moving. And you get the proper lighting. I even put lighting in the walls, you know, as well as the ceiling, so you can get really clean lighting, you know. But I think cosmetology is going to need some resurrection, if you will. I think that, especially in the Black beauty industry, I think it's time that we kind of come together and meet and figure out ways that we can better control and grow the Black beauty industry and help the new ones coming along, you know, teach the children the very best we can, you know, wake up everybody, you know. So.
That needs to come first. It's like we got to wake up to be taught.
Yeah. So what do you see is going on in the industry today, Miki?
Well, definitely with the pandemic, that's, you know, obviously top, you know, priority. One, being off for so long, you know, really showed us, you know, kind of who may have been a little prepared and who wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. That preparation is everything.
Yeah. So talk to us about that, because it's like, you know, we make the money, but then it's like, oh, well, what happened to the money, you know? So
that's true. You know, that's one thing I learned I learned early is how to save money. I remember this thing that Mr. Dudley taught me one time. He told me one time. He says, if a man can't save, the seed of success isn't in him. I had to have him say that one more time.
Yeah, break that down for us.
Money, the seed of success is not in him. So I got that. you know, and that he told me that in '89. And I've been saving, and it paid off now that I'm, retired. You want to have something, but saving is not as easy as sometimes you might think. And but you can do it. You just got to put it aside. Mr. Dudley told me to open a no money account. He said, "There ain't no money." He said, "With this account, you open it up, it ain't no money."
So what does that mean?
So that means they say, like, you can have an account, but this one, when you need some money, it ain't no money in there, so you don't touch that account. It's a no money account. You ain't got no money in there, but you keep putting it in there, And I remember I started off small, back in the day. I used to save like about $500 to $1,000. Then I moved it up to $2,000 a month. Trying to put it away, and said try not to touch it, and then but tell you the truth, saving money, man, you don't get no interest off of it. It ain't doing nothing but sitting there unless you want to gamble with it, and I ain't gonna gamble with it. So I decided to pay off my house. So my house will be hopefully paid for in another 3-4 years, and instead of letting the money just sit in the bank for emergencies or whatever, just start adding it to the principal. And so the whole thing is, like, when you're ready to retire, you want to know bills. You don't want to have no bills left. So you want to try to put something aside, to do that. And also, I think that if we study a plan and stay with it, like, if, let's say your plan is hair care or hair loss. If you get into a system where you're helping people live a better life and to grow their hair and keep their hair on their head, I think that is alluring. You can get people to continue to come back, because I think that the salons have lost their client regularity, consistency and regularity. Like when I was doing hair back in the day, a client would come in the salon religiously, like every 8 days. I did the number back in there. It's like every 8 days almost. So my goal was to get them, but it was normally every 2 weeks. You got some that come every week, right? But anyway, so my job was to try to get them to come in every week instead of every 2 weeks. So here's what I came up with. So I was charging back then in 81. I think it was like 84. I think I was charging like $65 or $65 for shampoo and style. 55, might have been 55. Then I went to 65, and then I recently was at 75. But so at 55, no, it had to be 65, because I worked out a deal for $200 a month, and you could come in 4 weeks straight.
Okay.
So, and you could get a relaxer in that 4 weeks. You can get one. You can get a serious chemical, the relaxer, and then maybe a color, a semi-permanent color with that. But $200 a month, and that worked like a charm. Most of my clients gave me $200 a month. It was automatic. They pay up front. If you miss it, you miss it. You don't get no. I was strict too, unless you call and you worked it out with me, and I said, all right, I let you slide this week. If you missed that week, you missed it. But you come in for $200 a month. Man, that worked out. I had money in the bank before the money even started. So
Right.
That was another thing. And you most importantly, you got them in the habit of coming into the salon and getting treatments and coming to see you. See, you're the doctor when you're the hairdresser. People are under the auspices of your direction, and they depend on you to do right and tell them right. And just because you learn from the books don't always make it right. Because we had like some problems with the our book that with the Milady book, where they didn't teach you to relax it right. Matter of fact, they didn't teach the cut right. I was like, I was like, man, they need some help. So they commission you with that to help them, But you got to have a basic system, for everything. And that's what we used to teach. A systematic approach to cutting, systematic approach to relaxing, systematic approach to cut, so everything gets faster and more efficient. Follow me? So in my salon, if you want to do a relaxing and you was kind of new and, you was working as an assistant, I would have a tray that would lift up high. The tray would come up to where your level, where that person's head was. The tray would be about right next to the head. So you could just reach in to get the relaxer and go right over to the head back and forth without missing a beat, because you got to get that relaxer in less than 5 minutes off the scalp, a quarter inch from the scalp or eighth of an inch if you can get there. And you get it in 5 minutes, right? Then you got to check it. All the missing things, then you might have to go in and put some more in where you missed, and then you go and smooth it, and then maybe if it was a no-lie relaxer, I would put a leave-in conditioner over the hair that had no-lie relaxer on it, because I never believe in no-lie relaxer. I never used it in my life, and I would put that over. And after I finished with the line at the root area, and like 5 minutes before, like right before I go to the bowl, I just pull it over top of that conditioner and silk it out smooth down the cuticles of the exposed lie to the hair that has been exposed to the no lie is a lot drier and more porous. And so I would comb that over right before I go to the bowl and bam, silking it out a little bit. So it would maybe take me 2 times. Like after 2 relaxers, I can get that no lie stuff off of it, and it's smooth hair. And that to me, black women hair grow more efficiently with a no lie. I'm sorry, did I? I don't know. I hate to say with a lie based relaxer, a mild lie, than using a no-lie relaxer. The no-lie to me is the reason why a lot of black women are losing their hair. I think it's the number one reason. If you look at my book, Why Black Women Lose Their Hair, I got 100 reasons why you lose your hair. But I think the number one was those kits, because black women thought they were milder.
Right.
Because they say, well, it's milder, and so you could leave it on longer, and you could do it more often. Wrong. It was actually not milder. When I put it on the pH scale, it was hotter. It was hotter. Those dark and ugly relaxers, they're higher on the pH scale.
You remember the slogan, the no lie lie? And so,
yeah. Well, it might be no lie, but the chemical that they use as a no lie is worse than the lie.
Exactly.
That's the problem, So, and people never got that. They never understood that. Even hairdressers, the lazier ones, want to use the lithium or the I forget the name of the other one, but then you had the quinidine sulfate and the potassium. It was just a lot of crap, and it would fry black women's hair right up. But they were bamboozled on it because, one, it was cheap, $4, you get your kit. 2, they thought it was mild, so they go and leave it on, and they didn't leave it on because it ain't burning, right? And it ended up burning their scalp, but you didn't see it, you didn't feel it. So you take it off, a couple weeks later, you see you done lost some hair, and your scalp's acting funny. It's now itching, now it's thinning, and your hair's coming out, and you got a little bald spot there. And it's all because you're using the wrong products in the first place. So that's why I stand behind, my products as a hairdresser. I'm one of the only hairdressers left with a full line of products for women of color, in this country. So BarryFletcher.com, baby, but anyway, but really, there were some serious issues, not only with the products, this lie thing, because the black manufacturer never created a no-lie relaxer. It was either Asian or white manufacturers, and then blacks jumped on when they saw they were making money with it. They jumped on board too, which was really, really bad, And I always was against it. and I wrote the book, and it came out in 2000, and I was blasting it, and I lay it out in the book how to do a professional relaxer and what's the difference in the 4 levels of relaxers. What is the difference? What is it made of? What is it? So the book is designed to allow you to establish a relationship with your hair so you don't make mistakes, because after you're over 35 years old, you don't make mistakes if you're a Black woman with your hair, because it don't come back so easy. So not knowing can cause you to lose hair, especially you hairstylists that don't know. Your clients deserve better. Read up. Learn more about what you're doing, your craft, and the background of it before you get in trouble. Because when a Black woman has a hair problem or her hair falling out, she don't want to tell you. She don't want you to tell her that she's stressed out, or because that may not be the truth. You might have just stressed her out, but not everybody's stressed out, So there's a lot to learn about keeping that hair on the head. So a lot of stuff you can't do, and I used to, my clients would ask me to do certain things, I just wouldn't do it. You gotta go somewhere else and get that done, because I'm not gonna do it, because it's against my religion, to screw somebody's hair out, and come out for money, Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing about, I mentioned the word money. I used to like to have my salon in the community where I do like mostly community people, just like regular folks. I did a lot of celebrities, yeah, but I wasn't really crazy about that, to be honest. I used to love my clients. They come in, we had a ball, and when I had the team, the hair gang, we laughed all day. We did hair and we laughed literally all day long. And one of the guys, nobody better not come out with a bad hairstyle. I mean, I'm just saying, if you mess my hair out, you got to walk past me, and I ain't gonna let that happen. And so we used to tease them, like, to send them back, and I had you guys, Bruno and Roger and Roger, Larry and Antoine, and they would and Bruce, and sometimes they would put what's up, LaSonia? That's one of my gangsterettes. Nicole. Anyway, we used to have a little like a tray and a towel that, like, if a guy's sweating, he couldn't get the hairstyle, we'd give him a tray. We had a little siren to go off in the station, like in the drawer. That means you gotta a mushroom get ready to come out there or something. We used to call them things. But it would require that you gotta go back, or I would say, hold on a minute, and I would touch it up and fix it, and they didn't want that, so, right. So, but nowadays, shoot, these girls get away with anything, man, fussing back with the clients and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you can't keep no clients like that. Black women have risen up to a level, that they want to be respected. They don't want to be in there long. They know their hair texture already, so you can't just pull no stuff on them. And they've learning that you can't just keep round brushing black hair like that. When you want to save some money and do those quick little jobs, you know what I'm talking about. And and a lot of them burnt the hair right off their head. So I ain't gonna mention the name.
Yeah, you gotta thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know what? I want to ask you. I'm online, just kind of in some of the groups sometimes, and it's like I see a lot of people on there. Like, would you believe what this client did to me? And they're writing it out and whatever ever happened. And it's like they get so much of, you should just fire them. It's like, how dare they do such and such? And I'm just like, what is everybody talking about? Fire everybody. I mean, you won't have any clients if you fire. So you have any thoughts or perspective for that?
Well, I might have suggested maybe 2 or 3 clients in my life to go to another stylist. All right, that she and I just couldn't see eye to eye, but it wasn't very many, and I've had more success with clients because once she sits in my chair, I'm talking about hair. I'm talking about her hair, I'm talking about what I'm going to do to her this time and what and what I'm going to do the next time. And I'm putting products in their hands, so they're holding it in their hand while they're in my chair. They're holding the product in the hand, looking at it. And so I know if I sell her one product, there's a, I think it's, if she buys 2 products from me, it's 100% chance she's coming back the next time. Maybe if she got one, it's 50% chance. Somehow, I don't know the math right now. But we used to train on consultations and making sure that a client knew how to take care of their hair at home before they left. So I was big on that. You need to know how to take care of this, and I wouldn't do styles that they picked that was fancy, something up that they ain't gonna be able to, they wake up the next morning, it's gonna be a mess and make me look bad, So, but let's do something you could do, okay? And so, the hairdresser's got to be the boss, the doctor, like that. You can't be the one that really don't know all the tools to your trade, or all the craftsmanship to creating a certain look and how to do it expeditiously so you don't keep people waiting so long. You always give them 100% decent job. And so that's why it ain't a lot of hairdressers that have the big salons and all these clients and stylists, because it's so rough. It's so hard to keep a group together. It's just almost like a band, and you know how bands fall apart, and to have 10 stylists and most of them women, at the same time. Hint, hint. I love y'all hairdressers, especially the women. But
I can't let that slide. My team and I, we're still united. Yep, strong.
I love it. I think you all are the best hairdressers. The women are the best hairdressers of us all, and you guys that do it with such ease, where we struggle a lot of times and we work harder. I used to take my work home, like people would go home and just watch TV and movies and stuff. Shoot, I was looking at hairstyles, trying to see how they curled it. I'm on there watching videos, and I didn't play. When I was I took every class I could get to, and I was up front with a notepad.
Right.
Trust me, nobody got nothing past me, And so I was competitive too, like that. And I just didn't want be in a position where I didn't know something. So my thing was, a real professional can answer any question you have about health and beauty, and if not, they can get right back to you with the right answer. So that's the way I feel I want to be. It's like, I was. It's like, wasn't much about hair that I didn't know about how to grow it. And I took the trichology class, trick colleges, down in Alabama. I'm trying to think of his name. But anyway, so I took that and got a little license with that one, and also studied it with National Beauty Cultures League. So anyway, I found that the more I knew about hair, the more money I made, because I knew how to treat it. And people wouldn't let nobody else, they drive 20 miles just to come to see me. I had a woman that would drive from Philly every week, to get her hair 2.5 hours. So I was just like, I wanted to be known for hair care. So, locally, people don't like you, like hairdressers usually don't like each other. We all competing against each other. But I never competed against anybody unless we were on stage, like unless we really got in the I used to go around all the salons and talk to people, I just love it. And they used to talk about me. I used to hear their car, Barry can't do no hair, can't do. I said, they might be right. They said, he just know how to promote it. He said, yeah, he might be right. But, I'm having fun. I'm making money. They never tell me. They would never come to my classes. I was like, but I go anywhere else, packed, but at home.
No, really? Okay.
Almost the same thing with the product sales. I'm doing more shipping and handling. I just wish my local stylist would show me a little more love, because I've only gave all my life to them. You know, anything they wanted, I would teach them. Man, I would share. I would give them anything. But you know, that's how it is, because when you're an artist, a lot of times artists pit their skills against another artist, so they're not comfortable unless they feel they're the best, or they're better. You know, they can do something better than you. Well, my thing was, what's best for the client?
Right.
I don't have to be so fancy and give her a hairstyle that took me an hour and a half to do, and she can't reproduce it.
Right.
And I can, I used to do the weaves, but I don't, I just cut them as of late. I was just cutting them. I didn't want to put them in. And then I created a holistic type of way of doing a weave with pipe cleaners. That's a whole nother story. But but yeah, my thing was always, how do you keep the hair on the head? What would this cause it to hurt the hair, or is it gonna help the hair? Because it really, you don't get too many shots of it. And when you think about what is hair anyway, what is this fabric we keep talking about? What does it do? And I wrote a book called Hair Sexual, and I talked about hair. I said hair is a tangible form of self-expression of how we feel about ourselves and how we want to be perceived. A tangible part about how we feel about ourselves and how we want to be perceived. So once you understand the study, what people really want from you about hair, then it's a little easy to satisfy. Now, granted, everybody wants something different. Everybody is different. Everybody hair different. So the consultation is so important when they come in. So I usually have people to fill out a consultation form. We have a consultation form. You fill that out, and that tells me everything about your hair experiences, what you've been, where you had, what problems you've had, where you work, how much money you make. Anyway, I did used to look outside and see what they were driving, so I know how to charge them. So, when I had my cuts, would range from $25 to $50 plus the shampoo and style. I forgot what it was, but it was like, I know the cut would like go up from anywhere from 100 to like maybe 135, depending on how much work I had to put in, or how well they liked it. You see, the thing is this: I used to judge people by how excited they got, and no disrespect to my clients. I'm just saying, when you turn around in the mirror and you look at your hairstyle and you are going crazy, I could get my top dollar for that, right? But if you turn around and you just all right with it, yeah, okay.
Y'all might not want to take notes on this part. End up clientele.
That's a whole thing right there, but yeah, but I was trying to be fair though, and I wasn't known as, people might say I was expensive, but I didn't think I was known as being that expensive,
Right.
But I want to say to the stylists, prepare for success. Start doing it now while you're in the pandemic mode. Figure out where you want to be in the next 5 years and start working towards it. Because
Barry, we can't see you well.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I never keep still when I'm talking. So I was just saying, it's better to be prepared for success and not have it, of course, than to have success and not be prepared. Because I've seen a lot of people get in situations where they really wasn't qualified, because they just didn't do their homework, and you got time to do it. But we're so hung up on our phone and computers and TV that we don't do our little homework as a pro, and hairstylists, we got to start. Well, I don't say, let me just say, if you really want to call yourself a professional cosmetological entrepreneur, you got to be steady. You got to put in your 7-8 years. Ain't no air in that. You know,
Right.
you can't get by. You know, there's going to be things that you're confronted with that you just going to have to be prepared. And I think that in Black women, that if you're working on Black women in particular, they deserve, you know, the best. You know, for you to have the best education, the best techniques, the best product, and you know, and try to have the best ethics, and you know, being on time, and you know, and help them live their best life, you know. But it's a great industry, you know. I'm moving out, you know. I'm moving in this song. The next thing y'all hear about me, I'm going to be, like I said, in a little place, a little lounge, doing some songs. I had a good industry, and I thank you for allowing me to recap some of the things that went on in my career, and if I could share anything that, you know, and if folks want to send me out any questions, they can go to barryfletcher.com and email me from there, and I answer them all. So yeah, I'm still around. You know, I put down the shear and the comb, but I still consult, and I won't be doing any shows this year. I'm done for the year, you know, because this pandemic, you know, it's just so too crazy. So everything I'm doing is virtual now. And you know, before I get off, because I know we're closing out, can I share them with a new tool I got?
Yeah, definitely.
Just let's see where we at. Come back over the coil comb. This thing, you know, it's, you know, like, if I could hold still for a second.
Okay.
It's a big end on this side, and it's the small end is on this side. And all you have to do is just put it on the scalp and twist it, and it'll create the coil curl. You know?
Okay. Nice.
One of my absolute favorites, inspiration in Cosmic Charlie World. So glad you're doing better. Thank you. I don't see whose name it is, but thank you.
If you're on Facebook and you want to go on to where the StreamYard is, at the bottom it has that you can put in your name so that we can actually see you. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, done one of my first mentors. Oh, yeah. I'm an old kid, so I'm sure after 40 years, hopefully I got to see a lot of you that are out there now. Video coming. Oh, thank you.
Oh, okay. And Brenda said she's got it and loves it. So yeah, that's
the razor comb. Yeah. And I have a new pick comb too. I call it itch comb. Man, I can't find it. For it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You see it? Hold on. Let me check it out. I know we're running out of time, so let me make this quick. Yeah, this is the pick comb right here. Got the fist on the back.
Fist even.
Yeah. Boom. Right.
Oh, okay.
And this is the hot selling egg cream before I get off. So
now,
egg cream is a daily moisturizer that you can use daily to moisturize your hair and scalp, and we give you this free when you put in an order, you know, online, or when you call in an order for the rest of the month. You're gonna get one of those free. All right.
All right, now y'all get on it. barryfletcher.com. Yeah. And it's like, I want to thank you for just taking the time out of your schedule, sharing all that you shared with us, because it was a mouthful. So anybody watching, come back. If you didn't have a pen and paper, come back and take some notes, because he dropped some serious tips that may change your entire career. And we're getting it from a legend. And so I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for the industry. We appreciate you.
It's been real. This industry, you know, that's why I'm so in love with Black women, because they made me who I am, and the industry has been so great. You know, it's like, you know, you gotta really do your best and stay the toll. This was an absolute best conversation so far. He shared so much and dropped so much knowledge. Thank you. Angela Washington, love you, baby.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you so much, Miki. Right? Sure, you're right. You know?
Yeah.
You're so sweet. It's like my big sister. So like, Miki.
Very.
You know what? Before I get off, you know something about you that I was thinking about before I came on.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in Atlanta, when I made the Olympic team, you remember that? And when I won, and it was a group, you know, because I'm the only black, comedian. Wasn't many blacks out there, but you were there in the audience, and a lot of white folks. And and next thing you know, when I won, I had my hands up, and then next thing it's cheering, Barry. I look back and I said, he done started cheering or something. And the whole crowd said, Barry. I caught that.
That was an exciting moment. That was a very exciting moment.
Yeah, you were there. I was like,
yeah. What were there? Two people before you to even make the team?
It was only 3 people make the team, so 2 people had won. So I'm standing there because they only do the Olympics every 2 years. So in '92, I missed by 3 points. I was in the same situation again. So '94, here I go again. I'm the third. I'm waiting, and they got 1, 2, and then the last one was Barry Fletcher. That's when we went crazy. Like, okay.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, I could have used my black model. I probably could have won a medal over there in London.
Okay.
But that's not what they wanted, so it's cool. Because we all here, and let that be a lesson to stylists today. Do all textures of hair. Don't get caught up in just doing black, or excessively, I should say, excessively curly hair or resistant hair. You go do straight hair too, wavy hair, curly hair, do it all.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you, Black Beauty Culture.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Samantha.
Yeah, Angela says she doesn't want it to end. So.
Well, maybe we'll do something later, next year or whatever, whenever you guys happen. Because I ain't doing nothing anyway. I'm just
Yeah, we'll start to wrap everything up for tonight. I want to invite everybody back for the rest of this month, which is Barber Month, and we got Kimberly Coleman next week, Tuesday at 7. Next week, and you may or may not know her name, but she is a Black female barber who barbers for Capitol Hill. So we will get all of the secrets, all of the scoop. What do you say?
What's her name?
Kimberly Coleman.
Okay.
Yeah, and she does everything, but she's a barber, and that's what she does primarily on Capitol Hill, barbering the members of Congress and their I forget what you call them, pages and associates and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I know I know she rolling. I bet she can shear over comb real well too.
Yeah.
Shingling and all that.
You gotta do it all.
Slide, cut with the shears and stuff.
Right.
She bad. I wouldn't mind seeing her throw that one. Yeah.
Yep. So we definitely want to catch her, and then at the end of the month, I forgot. We'll have Sherrod Holloway, which you guys may or may not know his name. He's local to Raleigh area. He's a barber. He's a barber educator. He does skincare and stuff for men. And one of the things that I love about him is that he's really involved in fatherhood projects and really helping to not only help men with grooming, but growing them as men. And so he's really serious. Exactly. We need so many more role models for our Black young men. It's like, and to learn, how to groom, how to create, like you say, a new career for themselves or career path, as well as, how do you handle yourself as, just a gentleman, I guess you could say. And so we're excited about that. And then we'll be moving into Legend Month. So it's like, I know we'll have John Atchison, Floyd Kenyatta, and who do we have? I'm drawing a blank here. Why am I drawing a blank?
You need to get him.
Yeah.
Don't forget James.
Every week I say that I have like 5 years worth of people that I want to interview. It literally is true. I have this huge list, and I'm super excited just to keep bringing these interviews to you guys. Please spread the word. Please share. Let people know. It's like visit beautysuperstars.com. It's like there's actually a free gift on there to help you get your finances straight for going through all of this COVID and pandemic time. And it's like I have the online academy to help you with building, your business and really creating the profit in it. Even right now, it's like there's a training that is for increasing your income without double booking, without raising your prices, so that you can compete right now, because we got to recoup that income that was lost from having to really sterilize our not sanitize, but sterilize our entire So no more double booking and all that good stuff that we were rolling with back in the day. And so, and Reginald Mitchell is the other person that is confirmed.
That's right.
Yeah, so he was heading up Soft Sheen with all of the moves and all of that. Taught me showmanship on stage.
There's a lot of legends out there.
Yeah. And hopefully I got
and you get to the top stylists. Make sure you get Patrick Bradley and
I've already talked to Patrick. It's like he was doing hair color with a hilarious story about how he got good at color. But so if you're just joining us, to be sure to check the ones that are on YouTube. It's like I think there's about 12, and each and every one is fabulous. So
good stuff.
Yeah, so keep joining us.
You're the fabulous one, honey.
Thank you. So we will say good night. We appreciate everybody joining us on all the different platforms, and we appreciate you being here. Please spread the word, and let's continue to have Black excellence and celebrate the superstars in beauty in your life. So take great care. I'm Miki Wright. Really grateful to have you, Mr. Fletcher, and we'll look forward to seeing even more stuff.
Remember, the best way to get where you're going is to look like you're already there.
All right. I love it.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.